It was an unprecedented protest against the government in Cuba, and members of the Cuban exile community are marching in support from cities around the world. John Suarez is the executive director for the Center for a Free Cuba. He believes that the demonstrators are tired of the leadership.
The protests that happened this last summer were the result of a number of factors. You have a 62-year-old dictatorship. They had placed a puppet president, Miguel Díaz-Canel, who really doesn't have the chops for the position. The other factors were the regime had decided not to obtain vaccine for COVID-19. And what we saw was reports of mass graves, people outraged by their loved ones dying.
Miguel Díaz-Canel, Cuba's current president, countered the protests by celebrating the Cuban army.
This is to terrorize those who want to peacefully assemble and protest. Their demands are not at all extreme. They're basically saying they want to exercise their rights as under the Cuban Constitution, and they're marching to request the freedom of all those detained July 11th who are peacefully marching or peacefully protesting. And they basically are calling for people to go to public parks where there's a statue of Jose Marti and to deposit a white rose in a spirit of reconciliation and a call for freedom.
I'm standing in front of the Cuban embassy in Washington, D.C., where around 15 people have gathered in support of the protests that are scheduled to occur on November 14th and November 15th on the island. Selena Hernandez is a Cuban immigrant and currently attends George Washington University.
I immigrated from Cuba at the age of 4. I moved to New Jersey. My father had family there, and he had won the visa lottery program on the island established by the U.S.
Selena is studying international affairs and hopes to see a democratic Cuba.
I want Cubans to experience what it's like to be able to go in the street and protest without being scared, be able to post on social media without having to worry. But I do think this change does come from within the island, and despite me being born in Cuba, I can do all that I can here to amplify their voices, but I can't be part of that change.
As the growing unrest continues, you can hear the words Patria Vida playing in the cars as Cubans chant and march in the country as well as other parts of the world. For GW, I'm Jennifer Cuge.